The Terminator franchise has suffered unlike any other when it comes to video games. With over 28 games in its library, only a handful are considered playable. Today we're picking out the few gold pieces from this landfill and counting down the top 5 best Terminator video games.
Let's go.
Terminator Salvation for the arcade is basically the mindless mayhem we look for when playing a Terminator game. You and a buddy get to use plastic M4s to fire upon endless waves of machines on a screen. It's very similar to the Terminator 2 arcade game, but Salvation's gun accuracy is much better. Thankfully, the game doesn't follow the film's story, but instead you play as John Connor doing random missions. This game has everything from the generic T-800s, boss battles, to helicopter segments. There was another Terminator Salvation game that came out for consoles, but trust me, the arcade version's much better. Considered one of the best Sega Genesis games, Robocop vs. Terminator brings the Dark Horse comic series of the same name to life and puts you in the shoes of Robocop. Even though there isn't much of the Terminator in this 2D shooter, it's still better than a lot of the other 28 Terminator games. There's a code that you can use to turn all the male enemies into Terminators and all the female enemies into hookers. Surprisingly, this cheat is called the real mode. FPS Terminator, just like the title suggests, is a first-person shooter that puts you in the battlefield from the future. What's mind-blowing about this game is that it wasn't made by a AAA company. Instead, it was made by a single person on their spare time. Since this game was made by one person, however, it only lasts an hour long and has quite a few bugs. But it's still one of the few games that perfectly recreates the battle scenes from the films. Unfortunately, FPS's creator Kevin Brand has gone on to do other projects before he can make this game reach its full potential. If you'd like to try this game out, please check the description below. Future Shock is considered by fans to be one of the first good Terminator games. In this PC game, you play as Kyle Reese before going back in time to save Sarah Connor. The gameplay is similar to Doom and Duke Nukem with the exception of having large levels and vehicles. One of the game's best features is having a range of movie-accurate weapons that you can use. It's also interesting to note that this game was made by Bethesda. Boy, could you imagine a Terminator game like Fallout? That'd be freaking amazing. At number 1, we have the sequel to Future Shock. Terminator Skynet is everything that made the first game good, but does it better. The level design is better, gameplay is more fluent, and the cutscenes are real people. Basically, this is the go-to game for any Terminator fan, especially if you're a retro gamer. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to suggest a top 5, please leave a comment below. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy Terminator Genesis. I've been waiting for you.